Welcome to Change Your Story, the podcast that helps women build a fit mind, a fit body, and a fit life from the inside out.
I'm your host and transformation coach, Hannah Dawson. I'm a personal trainer, nutrition educator, and mindset mentor, and I am here to help you feel strong, confident, and free in your body. Not by starving, shrinking, or punishing yourself, but by training with a purpose, eating with a purpose, and having faith through the process so you can change the way you see yourself forever. Inside this podcast, we break free from diet culture, perfectionism, and all the stories that have held you back. We rewrite the new ones rooted in truth, strength, and self-love. You will hear real talk, faith-fueled encouragement, proven fitness and nutrition strategies, and the mindset tools you need to stay consistent, stay focused, and believe in yourself again. If you are ready to stop starting over, build a life you love, and finally change your story, you are in the right place. Let's build a fit mind, a fit body, and a fit life. Let's rewrite your story. Welcome back to the podcast, you guys. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And today's episode is going to be a little bit different, but I believe it's going to set a foundation and it's going to set the tone for many more episodes to come. And it's really playing off that last episode, when I shared my daughter's journey. And it really got me thinking about how the stories that we believe, and it starts at such a young age, from our home life, our family life, our environments, our culture, whether that's religion, our school environment. It starts at such an early age and we develop a belief system. They can continue to start because it's something that we start to take as truth on our identity and what we believe about ourselves. And so today we're not just talking about fitness or food, we're really talking about freedom. And the truth is, you cannot become who you were created to be until you question who you were told to be. It is so crazy to me now. The more self-aware, the more I have pursued this relationship with myself, to think about, how we can grow up, many of us, with beliefs about our body, worth, modesty, food, identity, belief systems, spirituality that are handed to us, and not things that we have chosen, not things that we even thought about that we had a choice to decide if it was right for us. And so, I had shared a post on Instagram. I honestly should just read it right now, and I'm just going to read it right now. It's kind of a little bit long, but stay with me here and we're going to talk about it, okay? It says this. This is I get right into my journal time and I just had to share it. And so it could be a little controversial, but I just want to say to all my ladies, please keep an open mind and an open heart, okay? Just let your mind just be open to what I have to say. And I promise there's going to be little glimmers of breakthroughs for whatever you're needing to hear. It says this: you weren't raised to be free. You were raised to behave. And what you believe, it was never really yours. It was handed to you, programmed into you, packaged with love, backed by fear. This isn't just about religion. It's about stories we were told that shaped how we see ourselves, our bodies, our freedom, our worth. Be good, be quiet, be small. Don't question, don't feel too much, don't want too much, don't take up too much space. And so you made yourself smaller, more likable, more appropriate, more pleasing. You learned how to be a good girl, but you forgot how to be yourself. I was not born to blindly follow. I was not created to obey without thinking. I was born to question, to feel deeply, to think differently, to live intentionally, and to challenge what has been passed down, even if what has been passed down is in the name of faith. Because what we call truth is often just tradition. What we call right is often just repetition. And what we call love is often fear with a smile on its face. I was raised between two parallel worlds, one full of chaos, addiction, trauma, survival, and the other full of religion, rules, and fear-based faith. And while I am so grateful for the seed that faith was planted into me, I now see that what was handed was not truth, it was control. I was taught that God loves you, but only if you obey, that Christianity is the only real way, that other beliefs are wrong, dangerous, even evil, that questioning was rebellion, that hell was waiting if I dared to explore outside the lines, that God only lived in the church, that you don't question the Bible, you don't question God, you don't question the church, you just obey. So I didn't question, I performed, I played a role, and I loved others conditionally because that's the love I was taught. But conditional love is not real love, and fear is not faith. It took me years and a lot of pain to start asking, is this what I believe or what I was programmed to accept? Some people never question the beliefs they're raised in. Some never disrupt the systems that raised them. They just keep repeating what's been handed to them, even if it keeps them imprisoned, even if it was passed down in love. And even if their life looks good on the outside, safe, structured, approved by their family, their church, their culture, it doesn't make it soul aligned. It doesn't make it truth, because truth, real truth, sets you free. It expands you. It calls you deeper. It doesn't shame you into submission. It doesn't require performance. It doesn't condemn your questions. I know this will ruffle some feathers, but I'm not here to make this palatable. I'm not here to be agreeable. I am not here to play small and to keep others comfortable. I'm here to speak truth, and the truth that my soul won't let me ignore. I'm not here to bash religion. At one point, religion served me. It gave me the language for God, for faith, for prayer, but it also gave me rules. It gave me fear. It taught me love had conditions, and that questioning meant rebellion. But now I understand it's okay to outgrow belief systems. That's not betrayal, it's expansion. Spirit is always evolving. Growth is the nature of God. Your beliefs will shift as your soul expands. That is what God created you for, expansion. This is for the woman who's been questioning everything she's been taught, the woman who's waking up, the woman who's healing, because healing isn't just about doing the work. It's about questioning the thoughts and the beliefs that you have been believing. Like Louise Hay says, a belief is just a thought, and a thought can be changed. You are not born to be a copy and paste of someone else's faith. You are not born to be conformed by old rules, old boxes, or old dogmas. You are not born to conform. You are born to create. So if you're questioning too, know this. Your questions are not rebellion. They are revelation. They are the invitation. They are the doorway. They are the knock, and the knock is holy. All you have to do is ask, seek, knock. And truth, the truth that is meant for you, will answer. So that was the post that I posted. And I just really felt led to share that because this has been, I should just do a whole podcast on the story of really losing my religion. And, here was the thing, ladies. I found God when I lost my religion. When I started asking questions, when I started, going outside the lines, is when I found my faith, is when I found the connection to spirit, is when I started feeling myself in a whole new way, seeing myself in a whole new way, seeing others in a whole new way. And that for me, that was truth. That meant I was in the right place, but that didn't look like what others think it should look like, or the way my family told me it should look like, or the way the church told me it should look like, or the way religion told me it should look like. It looked different because here's what I'm going to tell you. You are different. You are one of a kind. You are one of a kind. You are not born to be the same. You are not born to think the same. You are not born to act the same. You are not born to believe the same. Because there is something so unique, so special, so intricate in you that you have to know that, and you have to be willing to be a little bit of a soul rebel, step out of the lines, step out of that what everybody else says that you should do, and learn to trust yourself. Because it's only when we let go and we jump that we actually have faith. And when the only way to really know God is to have faith, right? We can't have this belief in the universe or source or this power that created us if we do not have faith first that power exists. And how do we have that faith when we're living inside a box of all these rules of how we're supposed to act, how we're supposed to talk, how we're supposed to dress, how we're supposed to think, or just because a doctor said it, a pastor said it, it makes it the Bible, or because the Bible said it. Well, let me tell you, there's so much revelation that Spirit, the universe, has to say to you that is not in the Bible, because those people that wrote the Bible, they had revelation that they spoke. And so there is new revelation. And yes, I believe there is little bits of treasure and wisdom in the Bible, in books, in movies, in the universe, in nature, in fitness, in your body, in your mind. It is everywhere because God is everywhere, because love is everywhere. It is an energetic thing. And when I, really started pursuing a relationship with myself, really learning to unpack things, really learning to question things, I had to question everything. And that meant to question, okay, this is what I was raised to believe. There's some moments in my life when I would know, okay, yeah, I don't want to believe that. I grew up with a mom that was a drug addict, and I grew up, being abused on all different levels. Of course, I don't want to repeat that. But because I was in that environment, it created belief systems in me about myself. Also, I had the extreme opposite, was religion. And yes, of course, there was moments in that religion, where it really brought me closer to God. It did give me faith. It made me believe in the Holy Spirit. It brought all these beautiful things. But then there was also prisons in that religion when it came to thoughts and the way you have to be and the way you have to think about others, and that you were the only right way and every other way was wrong. And so it also built these mental prisons, and it isolated me from true love and true acceptance and hearing, what was truth for me, because what's truth for me may not be truth for you, right? And I want to say this is that we have to be very careful of what we take as truth from somebody, because somebody's truth is only as true as their level of perception of what they've been through. It doesn't matter if they are a pastor. It doesn't matter if they are a theologist. It doesn't matter if they're the Pope. It doesn't matter if they're the doctor, like the world-class doctor or the president. They may have certain things, but it doesn't mean that they have soul revelation. And that's something that that is like a thumbprint. Nobody gets to tell you how your soul is supposed to be here on this earth, because you are a full soul with a body. And so, why I wanted to share this, why I think it's really important, is because a lot of the time we never question the beliefs we grew up in, whether it's what we've seen in our family lives, what we've seen with our parents in marriage. Maybe we didn't have parents. Maybe we were adopted. Maybe we weren't adopted. Maybe our parents got a divorce. Maybe our parents had tons of different boyfriends and girlfriends, and, we've seen just chaos all the time. Or maybe we grew up in a house that went to church every Sunday. Maybe our parents were pastors, and everything, you had to put on this persona of being this good person, and you couldn't step outside that, and you couldn't believe differently because you had to accept how your family believed. You had to accept and do everything your family did when it came to their religion, when it came to their beliefs, when it came to money, when it came to the way that they raised you, when it comes to all different things, when it comes to food, when it comes to traditions. We take on these things without asking ourselves, is this serving me? Is this what is meant for me? Because what was meant for them isn't meant for you. And that can be the hardest thing as a parent, having girls, knowing that, yes, I live this life and I love this, but I know that they have their own soul, and what they're put on this earth for, I can't even fathom. I just have to be here to love them, to give them space to explore that, and to be okay to question everything and find their own path, because we all have a different path. We cannot duplicate someone else's path. And I think a lot of the time we try to duplicate, whether it's through business, whether it's through religion, whether it's through seeing the way our family did things. We're trying to duplicate. Just like when you have a baby, there's no manual. And even if you did get a manual, you're going to have another baby and it's going to be totally different, and you're going to need a new manual. There's no manual for your life. And yes, there's wisdom, and yes, there's people that you're going to go to that are going to say something that will help you, but it doesn't mean you take the Bible to it, meaning that you marry it. It means that you eat the meat and spit out the bones. There's going to be some stuff that's going to help you, but you don't need to live by it. It might only help you for a season. And like I said, there's been so many transformations in my life. And, I think I held on to religion so much because I felt like it was the thing that saved me out of my addiction. It was a thing that I clung to. So I think I was afraid if I let that go, that I would let myself go, because my identity was so wrapped up in being this, godly girl. And, I believe in God, and I don't want this to come across that I don't, because I have faith. I just don't believe in religion. I don't believe that we need to follow these rules. I believe in love. I believe in peace. I believe in kindness. I believe in generosity. I believe in, being a light, speaking truth, creating space for people to find their truth and speak their light, because we can't duplicate this. We can't duplicate one another's lives, even if they're people that we loved. You have to be willing to step out and go out on your own path. And it can be so easy to, follow this mold of what others think that we should be, what we should wear, how we should behave, what is good versus what is bad in both our beliefs, our fitness, food, femininity. Here's the thing: when we live by someone else's standards, we will be the smallest version of ourselves. We'll stay silent, afraid, and it may look like we're doing everything right, but in your soul, it will feel like you are suffocating. It will feel like a part of you is missing. And, it can be scary. It can be scary because everything could look right on the outside to you. You could be doing all the things that you feel is right, but I could say one thing in here that starts to make you question, and that could be scary because it may mean that it's going to disrupt some of your life. And in order to live the life you are meant to live, we have to get used to that disruption. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be shaky. It may shake your marriage. It may shake your family life. It may shake your business. It may shake your faith. And I'll say it probably will shake all of those. But just know the shaking isn't there to break you. The shaking is there to shake off everything that was never meant for you. Here's the thing: your healing, your relationship with yourself, and becoming the woman that God created you to be, the universe created you to be, the woman that you were placed on this earth to be, will only come forth when you start asking questions. When you start asking yourself, is this belief mine? I don't care how many books, I don't care what pastor, I don't care what expert, I don't care what doctor said it's the right way or it's the only way. You need to question, is this the way that I am supposed to go? Does this bring me freedom? Does this bring me love? Does this bring me joy? And what if the fear I feel isn't truth, but it's programming? Remember, ladies, a belief is just a thought, and a thought can be changed. Just because it's a belief that's been passed down doesn't mean it is a belief for you. And if a belief is just a thought, you can change that thought. Yes, it's going to be hard because if it's been programmed into you, it's going to take a bit, but science has proven our brain has neuroplasticity. The mind can be renewed. The mind can be transformed. And so, I think out of all of this, I really started feeling like a little bit of a spiritual rebel, like a soul rebel. I'm like, I'm going to make some people uncomfortable. I'm going to cause some controversy, because when we speak our truth, it is going to make people uncomfortable. But you can't not speak your truth because you're worried of making people feel uncomfortable. You are not responsible for how another person feels. And when you speak your truth, it just may help somebody else speak their truth. And it may be the thing that helps set someone else free. Don't not speak your truth because you're afraid of disrupting culture, because you're afraid of disrupting your family, or upsetting your family, or, it's okay. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to evolve. And, when I was kind of going through all this, I could literally feel in my heart and in my spirit, like, restlessness. Like I was wiggling out of something, like I was suffocating in something. And it wasn't until I started questioning and going, okay, God, I can question. Okay, I don't actually believe this. I believe this. And it wasn't until I started, speaking my truth first by myself in my journal and my prayer time, and then just speaking truth on here, on social media, that I felt like I came out. Like I came out in the sense of I wasn't suffocating anymore, that whatever was growing in me had room to expand. Like, whatever was holding my head underwater, where I was feeling like I couldn't breathe, that's suffocating, I came up for air and I could finally breathe. And that right there, I knew I was speaking my truth. And, if I can speak my truth and help, open your mind or awareness to areas of your life that maybe you're not speaking your truth, and where you want to speak your truth, well, then I feel like a little bit of a soul rebel, and that's okay. It's not about rebellion. Remember, sometimes, I don't want to say sometimes, but I found God when I lost religion. I found God when I started questioning. I found God when I let go of rules, when I let go of how I thought things should be, or who said this to me, or so and so told me to believe this. When I just let go and I let God, and I said, out of my head into your hands, God, I trust you. I'm taking the leap. I'm not worried about what other people think. And I believe that if this is my path, it is going to be the path to help lead others to their own spiritual freedom, to their own soul freedom. And that's why I feel like a little bit of a soul rebel. I'm disrupting a system. I'm disrupting a belief system that wants to keep us small, wants to keep us silent, wants to keep us the same. And so I think, finishing off this is that, there's a quote in the Bible that, to ask, to seek, to knock, that when you knock, the door will be opened. When you ask, you will be answered. When you seek, you will find. And it's not going to look like anything else. And you have to have childlike belief. You have to believe in miracles. You have to believe in magic. You have to believe that God is going to show up in a way, or the universe, or whatever you believe, source is going to show up in a way that is so unexpected, and is going to knock you off your feet, and is going to be like, holy moly. And I'll finish off by saying this, that God is not afraid of your questions. I believe that He put those questions in you for a reason. If something doesn't sit right, even if it's in something like the Bible, even if someone, an expert said it, if it doesn't sit right, if you feel like, I don't want this belief, I don't want to believe that doesn't feel right in my spirit, guess what? I believe that is from Spirit saying, I don't want you to have this belief either, to your soul. We don't want our soul to take this belief on. So start questioning everything. And why would I even talk about this, ladies, when it comes to changing your story? Because when you change your story, you are going to have to go to a soul level. You are going to have to go to the programming that conditioned those beliefs in the first place. And they may come packaged and beautiful, like in religion or great families or in love, but it doesn't mean they're right for you. It doesn't mean that was your path. And if you want to live this life that you can be you unapologetically, full authenticity, fully you. Be here what you were put on this earth for, created for. Live that, whatever that is. You know that in your heart right now. You know what you want. You know what your wildest dreams are. You know what would bring you the most joy. Then it all starts when you start challenging your belief systems and questioning and asking those questions. Don't be afraid to question. Don't be afraid to be a little bit of a soul rebel and step outside the lines, because it's when you step outside the lines that you actually will find out who you truly are and what you are truly made of. So don't be afraid to question. Don't be afraid to be seen, and don't be afraid to let go. Start with your beliefs, especially when it comes around our body. Just because your mama believed it about her body, or just because your family said it's your genetics, or just because your family said it was about your worth, your freedom, your identity, question it. You were not born to be a copy. You were born to create. Be a soul rebel. It starts now. If this episode cracked something open for you, come deeper. Inside the Fit Club, we have an entire section on mindset, on devotionals to help you rewrite your story that you've been living. You can start today with your Fit Love check-in, because most powerful transformations start from within. When you finally start asking questions of what you believe, that's when you will start to heal. Have an amazing day, you guys, and until next time, bye for now.